Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Surina and I am a junior doctor, previously working in the UK and currently coming to you from quarantine in Australia. It has been such a long time since I last sat down and filmed a video, and I'm so happy to finally sit down today and start filming one, especially as there's so many more of you here now than there were before, which is really cool. Those of you who follow me on Instagram might know that I am taking an F3 year and going to Australia with it, hence I'm here right now. So first things first, what is an F3 year? In the UK, after you graduate medical school, you start working and you do a 2-year foundation training program. This is where you spend time in different specialities, and this is your F1 year and F2 year. After that, you can then go into speciality training and apply for the speciality of your choice, so medicine, surgery, obs and gynae, or whatever you want to do. Now, this gap between your F1, F2 and your speciality training is a really common time that people decide to take a career break because it's such a natural gap. And because now so many people are taking this break, it's got a name of its own, which is the F3 year. So although it's not an official 3rd year of your foundation training, you're not in any training program, because now it's so common, it's kind of taken on that name. You can see from this graph from the BMJ that the percentage of doctors taking time out at this point has been increasing every year since 2013, and in fact the last data in 2018 showed that almost 2/3 of F2 doctors were going into this F3 break rather than into speciality training. Next question is, what can you do on your F3 year? And basically anything you want. Some decide to do a non-training job, so still staying within a hospital and within a trust, but doing something like a clinical fellow job or a teaching fellow job. Again, you're not on an official training pathway, but you're still getting experience, you still have a regular salary, so those are the positives of doing something like that. You can also choose to work abroad or just travel abroad, which is quite common, especially pre-pandemic. Or you can do something completely different, pick up some other projects, enter another industry. So now jumping into the crux of this video, why have I decided to come to Australia to work for my F3 year? Well, it's been a dream of mine pretty much since the beginning of medical school, and now I'll share with you my 5 reasons why that is. Reason number 1 is a career break. And if you know me or have followed me for a while, you know I'm in no rush to jump up the career ladder anytime soon. I was speaking to another doctor who is in the same career place as me right now, and she was telling me how she's planned to take quite a few years out at this point. She recently lost a loved one and was just talking about how life is too short. And it really got me thinking how bizarre it is that we're all told to live for work and work to live in such a monotonous and never-ending manner. And, you know, of course we all need money and things to survive and to pay the bills, but I'm in a position now where it's such a privilege that I can keep earning money if I want to, but more on my own terms. There's lots of doctors who pick up ad hoc or locum shifts where you're not officially employed, sort of Monday to Friday or however many hours a week. You can just pick up shifts as you want. So there's always a way to get an income through that. Generally speaking as well, as doctors, we're pretty employable in quite a few different sectors. I know people who leave medicine to go to finance or to start their own businesses or even Love Island sometimes. And yes, when you are exploring these other ventures, you do miss out on that career progression, but that's not the end of the world. It's a 30 to 40 year career, and there's absolutely no point just running to the finish line if you're not enjoying that whole journey. So it's very important for me and for my mental health, especially after the last 2 years we've had, to take this break where I'm not worrying about portfolios and careers and moving on to the next step all the time. Reason number 2 is a little bit away from the whole job focus of things, but more just the experience of living in a new country. Now, I'm obviously speaking from little to no experience, but I really believe that living in a different country is something everyone should do. I think when we're all living our lives at the fast pace that we do, we become so engrossed in our little bubbles and we forget how many different types of people, different cultures that we're sharing this planet with. And I know Australia is pretty socially, economically, quite similarly set up to the UK, so it's not that much of a difference, but nevertheless I'm still looking forward to actually understanding and embracing the Australian way of life, seeing how things are done both in the hospital and out. and that's something I don't think you can really get when you're passing through somewhere just on a holiday. I'm actually really just enjoying the mundane things, like working out how the currency works, how much the cost of living will be, working out somewhere to live, how the taxes and insurance and everything work in a new country. They're all just such good life skills, make you so much more adaptable. And yeah, like I said, mostly I'm just looking forward to seeing how the Australians live and work and enjoying all of their culture as well. Reason number 3 is the ease of transfer. So like I mentioned, doing an F3 is very common for a lot of UK doctors, and coming to Australia for your F3 is also a very common subcategory within that. And that's because with our training and our degree, it's fairly easy to come to Australia to work. You don't need to do any other exams or prove your competencies in any other way. So it's very easy to come here compared to somewhere like the USA, where you have to do tons of exams to get in, and then you're competing with so many of their own doctors to even get the kind of job you want. So yeah, I found the process here relatively a lot easier to come in, although there was a ton of paperwork. Reason number 4 is to explore a new healthcare system. Now, the NHS, it's a noble concept, but it is designed to serve the masses without very much being able to care for the needs of the individual. And to clarify, I am talking about that from a staffing point of view rather from the patients. You don't have to have worked in the NHS for very long to know that the more you give, the more it takes from you. And I don't take any issues with working long hours or working very hard, because that's what we signed up to do, and on the whole the actual job is quite enjoyable. But it's more all the peripheral things which sometimes have lots of shortcomings that can make it quite an unpleasant environment to work in. And with all the little peripheral things, although peripheral, when they add up, it can really have an impact on you. I don't want to complain or put people off, especially new doctors, medical students who are looking forward to working. The actual patient-doctor interactions and the things you can do for patients are so satisfying, but it's more the kind of well-being of the staff which I think really lacks in a system as huge and as all-encompassing as the NHS. I don't want to get into it anymore for now in this video, but essentially for my mental health I needed a break from this system, and many others do too. Now, I know the grass is always greener on the other side, and I don't really know what I'm getting myself into at the moment, but I have heard from several colleagues that the healthcare system here is a lot more refined in its work-life balance, in how it looks after the people who work for it. It is a mixture of private and public funded healthcare here, and I think that's probably to its benefit, because probably better distribution of resources. Obviously I will be reflecting on this once I've had a few months of experience here, so make sure you subscribe if you want to hear my thoughts on that. Reason number 5, and the only real reason as far as I'm concerned, is for the travel and the adventure. Now, obviously I'm happy to be here as a doctor and gain more experience and all of that stuff, blah blah blah, but in reality I'm so excited to have finally gotten on a plane here and be in a different part of the world. I think lockdown really taught us how much beauty and adventure is on our very own doorstep, and I've really enjoyed exploring England over the last year or so and discovering places I wouldn't have before. But not gonna lie, I'm very happy my doorstep is now Australia and possibly even New Zealand, and I cannot wait to explore all of these places when we have time off and on the weekends. The COVID situation is a little bit rocky here, but still far better controlled than most parts of the world, especially with the vaccination program ramping up. So let's hope that heads in the right direction. So all being well, I'm really looking forward to exploring this part of the world really thoroughly and doing all the more adventurous stuff that I did when I was here last, like hiking and diving, of course. So again, subscribe if you want to see those adventures, and yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. You sure you can't hear me? We just become so after that you apply for specialities, so surgery, medicine. So, and how other countries work, so it's okay. Engrossed.